I'd wanted to transplant the potatoes into the garden this week, but the weather has just been crazy. After getting up to almost 90 degrees in the greenhouse, temperatures have dropped pretty sharply outside again. At the end of this month, it's supposed to drop down into the 20s again. So we're not getting any snowstorms or anything, but we're getting super cold temperatures. It's already wreaking havoc on the potatoes in the greenhouse. Just these wild fluctuations in temperatures. As much as potatoes don't like the hot weather, they don't like super cold weather either. So I'm gonna hold off on planting the potatoes. And this week, we'll just be starting seeds for 2 vegetables, spinach and peas, and we'll be direct sowing them in the garden. You can start them indoors. I actually haven't had too much success with spinach, but peas I have. Just space limitations on the right now is why I haven't started them indoors, but I am going to start them outdoors. Unfortunately though, can't be getting the potatoes in the ground right now. We're going to hold off. Maybe the first week of April, we'll do that. I've been soaking peas for a couple of hours. These are the super snappy variety, and these are Green Arrow. These are a few years old, the Green Arrow, but they still continue to perform well for me. So this just softens them up a little bit, breaks that hard shell, and now I'm going to go take them outside and plant them in the garden. So I'm going to be planting the peas just behind the rutabaga that I have in the bed, right down the middle. And just as we do with all of our plantings, we clear back the mulch, the shredded leaves that we use, and I use my templates to mark out where I want them. Now I do it on 3-inch spacing, and I do a double row. So we're going to have one here, 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 and so forth, all the way down the garden bed. I left my dibber in the greenhouse, and I'll just use my fingers all the way down to mark out the rows. And we'll be back in just a minute. So we've got the planting row cleared out and marked off. And now we'll come in and we're gonna do 1 row of the one variety and the other of the Green Arrow. And we'll see if the Green Arrow are actually still viable. So what I'm going to do is take the Green Arrow ones and go along and add 1 pea to each hole along one line. And then if we have enough at the end, I'll come back and I'll add a second pea. And that way we'll have a better chance of full germination. I'll do the same thing with the snappy pea. And then if we have enough, we'll come back and we'll do the same thing, putting a second pea in each hole. So we have 2 peas in each hole. And on the Green Arrow side, we actually have 3 peas. We had enough for 3 peas in each hole. We'll have to come back and thin them out afterwards. But we should get at least a few plants to grow. This is a 10-foot long bed. And that's a lot of math to figure out how many plants we have planted there. But it should be a good crop of peas. Now I'll just come along and we're just going to close them up. Just like to pinch it and then press down a little bit. Not crush them, but firm them in. Because they'll grow to 2 to 3 feet high, they are going to need some support. I mean, they do tend to cling to each other, but I'll end up putting a stake in at this side and a stake in at that side, and I'll run some string along once they sprout and start to grow, and that'll give them something to hold on to as they climb up. But we'll come to that when it's time. So right now the peas are planted. Let's go plant our spinach. So just like with the lettuce, we're going to plant the spinach in these bus boxes and plant them 9 to a square foot. Got our template. So now I'm just going to mark out the planting holes. Make sure I flatten the bottom. That was a little deep, that one. The rule of thumb when planting a seed is about 3 times the depth of the seed. So we're going to be planting Bloomsdale Longstanding. It's an heirloom variety. Never planted it before, but we're going to see how it does. This is spinach seed, and we're going to put a couple of seeds, 2 or 3 seeds in each hole. Like we did with the peas, we soak them for a couple of hours. You can do that with all of your seeds. Gives them a little bit of a head start in that it softens up the hard shell and allows them to break through, but it's really not required. Also, like with the lettuce, we're going to make multiple plantings of this. So we're planting 1 crop now, and in 2 or 3 weeks time we'll sow another crop. Now I'm just going to take some vermiculite, throw it on top. And now we'll just water it in. We'll get a label for these, and we'll wait till they sprout. I'm going to leave these in the greenhouse. I'm not going to bring them inside. I'm going to let them sprout and grow out here in the greenhouse. Spinach likes the cool weather, so we'll continue to grow these every couple of weeks. A lot of these plants do a lot better, like a lot of the cole crops that we planted, the brassicas, the broccoli, the Brussels sprouts, the cabbage. They actually all do a lot better when you have a fall planting of them. But planting them in the springtime, assuming that you give them an early start, protect them from the extremes of the cold, and get them going into the ground early enough, but not too early, you can get a spring harvest out of them. Might not be as prolific as the fall crop will be, but you can still get one in. So we got the garden space, may as well use it. If you want to see what we were doing in the garden last week, check out this video right here, and then subscribe and hit that notification bell. And that way you'll be able to follow along on the progress of all of our vegetables as we try to grow a supermarket in our own backyard. Okay, thanks for watching.